Game 3 of the NBA Finals was, in my opinion, the best game of the series so far. We saw the Celtics start off the game in charge, but the Warriors weathered the storm and made a massive push in the third quarter, only for the Celtics to crush all hope with a spectacular fourth quarter. The Celtics, both offensively and defensively, executed their game plan to near perfection and secured a vital win at home to go up 2-1 in this series. In this video, I want to go over everything they did right and what this win means for them moving forward. Let's take a look at their offensive approach, because the way they went about getting their points early was paramount for a couple of reasons. In the first quarter alone, they scored 14 points in the paint. They were relentless at attacking the basket and getting to the rim. Here, Smart is going to make an entry pass to Horford, who's going to draw some defensive attention from both Draymond and Gary Payton. Wiggins is going to slide over to protect the corner pass, leaving Derek White wide open up top. Horford is going to get it to him, and Payton and Wiggins are both going to come to close out on him, and Draymond slides over to protect the corner pass, which leaves Horford all the space in the world, and Draymond is just way too slow to provide any help, and Horford is going to be able to get the dunk. They also made a point of targeting Steph Curry on defense, not just in the first quarter, but throughout the entire game. With Steph as the primary defender, the Celtics shot 60% against him. They were relentless in hunting for a favorable switch onto him, and it was really effective. We can see it here. White has the ball and Smart cuts for him to pass it to Horford. Smart is going to set this down screen on Curry to force Klay to switch onto White so that Smart can get the switch onto Curry. This is going to allow Smart to post up Curry once White gets it from Horford, and Smart is able to use the mismatch to his advantage, and he's going to nail the fadeaway jumper. On this play, Tatum has the ball and Smart has Curry on him over in the corner. Smart is going to make a beautiful cut for Tatum to find him for the alley-oop. They continued their assault on the paint in the second quarter, as we'll see here. Tatum and Grant are going to run a couple of screens, and the screen from Williams is going to open up a pass to White, who immediately attacks the basket, something that they had experienced a lot of success with up to this point. But if you notice, Grant Williams is going to roll with him while Poole and Wiggins are ball watching, and White is going to get it to Williams, who eventually makes the basket. On this possession, the Warriors are running a lineup of Poole, Klay, Wiggins, Draymond, and Bjelica. Williams has the ball with Draymond on him, and Draymond is going to overcommit going for the ball, and Rob sends it to Tatum and immediately cuts into the paint for the ball. And since his biggest resistance is going to be Poole, who has no chance of catching him, and then Bjelica, who isn't exactly known for his defense, Rob is going to get a clean look for an easy 2 points. You see, the Celtics finished the first half with a whopping 32 points in the paint versus the Warriors, who only scored 16 points in the paint. Now, what does this accomplish? Points in the paint are great, but at the end of the day, a 3-pointer is worth more than a 2-pointer, right? And that's why their assault on the paint serves more than just one purpose. While it is great to rack up 2s on the interior, it also accomplishes something else. You make the defense a lot more cautious of giving up interior shots, and they're a lot more liable to overcommit with help defense, which is going to leave shooters wide open on the perimeter. The Warriors have a defensive mindset where they pretty much automatically help on everything, and Boston did a really good job of exploiting that. They also got some guys into foul trouble early, with Draymond Green finishing the first half with 2 fouls and Steph Curry finishing the first half with 3 fouls, which inherently gives them an advantage because those guys aren't going to be able to contest as much because they're scared of getting called for another foul, putting them at risk of fouling out of the game. Let's look at some examples. Pay attention to how the Warriors are set up defensively. Klay and Draymond are covering Pritchard and Williams on the weak side. Tatum is going to attack the basket, and Draymond sags off to provide some interior help, something that is just subconscious for the Warriors defense, which is going to leave Klay to guard both Williams and Pritchard. Tatum makes a beautiful sling over the top of his head to Pritchard, who goes on to knock down the catch and shoot 3. On this play, it's really easy to see how their mindset of attacking the interior played to their advantage. Brown is going to drive, and immediately Wiggins is going to overhelp off of Horford, and Brown gets it to Horford, who's going to knock down an easy catch and shoot three. It's so simple, but it works. If you make the defense scared of your drives, it's going to open up a whole new world of opportunities on the perimeter for easy catch and shoot shots. The Celtics are shooting 43% from three in the series, and I've seen some people talk about how unsustainable that is, and while they're likely to come back down to earth at some point, that high percentage is indicative of an effective game plan of attacking the paint to open up shots beyond the arc. Let's switch over to the defensive side of the ball. While they did a great job of attacking the interior on the offensive end, their interior defense was what really stood out to me. One thing that the Warriors love to do is run pin downs on the weak side for shooters to get open, and on this inbounds play, they're going to try and do just that, but Brown fights and goes under the screen and shuts down the potential shot. Jaylen Brown is going to stay with him, and he shuts down the drive as well, and when they try to initiate this give and go, Brown stays on Thompson's hip, and he's ultimately able to get the block. Once again, they try to run a pin down on this play, but Smart is such a good screen navigator that he's able to force Klay into a difficult mid-range pull-up instead of giving up an open three. Here, the Warriors are going to run this dribble handoff, with the theory being that Wiggins can feed it to Curry when he gets the switch onto Horford and can beat him on a cut to the basket. Horford does a stellar job of not allowing him into the paint, and Wiggins is forced to pass to Draymond for a three, which I think Boston will live with 10 times out of 10. Again, here, they're going to run another pin down for Klay, but Jaylen Brown navigates the screen perfectly to shut it down, and the possession culminates into an Andrew Wiggins mid-range shot, which, while he was open, I think you're going to live with a 2 instead of a 3, and he misses it anyways. By eliminating the impact that these pin down actions have, the Warriors are forced to work a lot harder for their points instead of just waltzing into wide open threes. And when they have to work inside to get points on the board, they run into one major issue: Robert Williams. He was absolutely stellar on the defensive end in Game 3, which is even crazier when you consider he's currently playing injured. He finished the game with 4 blocks and 3 steals, and his impact on the defensive end cannot possibly be overstated. He's one of the biggest reasons that the Warriors finished with only 26 points in the paint. His sheer presence on the interior is enough to subconsciously make the Warriors second guess a shot at the rim. There are some guys who are just such good interior presences that the opposing team won't even bother trying to drive simply because they know that he's there. Marcus Smart made an unbelievable impact defensively as well. The Warriors actually shot 3 of 14 from the field when guarded by Smart. He was all over the place, playing amazing point of attack defense, playing with such great hustle, and disrupting everything that the Warriors were trying to accomplish. Now, while all of this is great, there is something that we need to talk about, and that's turnovers. The Celtics finished the first half with 8 turnovers, and that contributed to 14 points off of turnovers for the Warriors. They were struggling to protect the ball, and it's the biggest reason why the Celtics didn't get out to a bigger lead in the first half. If they had protected the ball better, they would have easily been up 20 plus points. But the most important part is that they ended up finishing the game with only 11 total turnovers after having 8 in the first half, and it resulted in the Warriors only managing to get 5 points from turnovers in the second half. The Celtics, on the other hand, managed to force the Warriors into committing 16 total turnovers, which nabbed the Celtics another 17 points. Boston definitely needs to do a better job of protecting the ball over the course of an entire game, but if they can do what they did in the second half of Game 3, their chances of winning are going to skyrocket. Now, if you're looking at this series and you're asking yourself the question of who's in better shape heading into Game 4, it's Boston. They took a game on the road in Game 1. They have a home game heading into Game 4, and all of the pressure is on the Warriors to prevent the Celtics from going up 3-1 in the series. They need to go into Game 4 with the mindset that they're just going to play their game and do what they know works, and the rest is all going to come naturally. So who do you think is going to take game 4? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. Real quick, guys, if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a like on the video. That's the #1 way to support me and help me continue to make content. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.